Now he's talking about how this whole Maya is structured. And here's where your caste system comes from. Okay? Here's how society is structured. The whole tradition of knowledge is structured by Bhagawan, and all the societies is structured by the self. The four social divisions based upon qualities and duties is created by me. Oh, what about that? Oh, the caste system, that's horrible. That's an awful, terrible, nasty system. It's very bad. India can't be spiritual. Huh? Hey, God created the caste system. What? All of the injustices that go down behind the caste system created by God, then God must be a pervert. Right? Hey, talking about the caste system, the true caste system. He says here that the society is built upon what? The qualities, i.e. the gunas, that are appearing in what? The mind, nature. How does that work? Every society's got a caste system. Every society, everywhere. This is not about India. This was written before India was India. It applied to the Indian caste system to some degree, but it applies throughout society. Society is set up on the three guna model. And the castes are what? When in every society there are four types of people. There are the Brahmins. Never leave India out of it. A Brahmin is a knower of Brahman. That is a spiritual person. A spiritual or creative person, the artists, the poets, these people, they have a spiritual inclination. They have a vision that's greater than the social vision, than the normal everyday vision. And they are the creative thinkers, the leaders, the idea people in the society. And why are those people like that? Because they have a predominance of sattva in their intellect. In the Indian caste system, the Brahmins were essentially sattvic. In other words, it was not a hereditary caste system. It was anybody who was predominantly sattvic, who had what? Love of the truth and communicated the knowledge of the truth, was considered to be a Brahmin. He or she knew Brahman, simply because sattva predominated in the intellect. When Rajas comes in, sattva is the first guna. When Rajas appears, then you get what? You get the second class. The second class of people are your politicians and your warriors. These people they have a predominance of sattva, but they have a lot of rajas too. Or they may have a little more rajas than sattva, but they're a combination of rajas and sattva. And they're meant to uphold the Dharma. That is, the ideas in the society that are operating, in our case we'll say the idea of self-knowledge, those need to be protected by the police and the political class. They can protect them because they have rajas, so they can get out and defend these ideas and keep the society clean and on the right track. In that, you find that in every society you've got the police and the political class. They're the ones that have to enforce Dharma and make sure Dharma works here. If they fall down on their job, then the whole society gets corrupt. Then when Thomas comes in, you get what? And you get people who are a combination of Thomas and Rajas. That's your commercial class. Those are your business people. And those people, their duty is what? To provide wealth to the society. Because they're suited for it. Because they're materialists, they have Thomas, and they have Rajas, they have enough energy to what? Go out and what? Create the wealth. So that's your business and entrepreneurial class. They have a bit of sattva because they've got some ideas, but they're all materialist oriented. in this society. And then the fourth class is what? A class of people who are essentially tamasic with a bit of rajas. Those are your working class people. They have a lot of physical energy and rajas, they can do things, but they don't have enough sattva to think for themselves and to create for themselves. So they're what? Meant to be servants. That's what they do. They're in the service industries. Those are not thinking people. They're just as important to the society, but what? Their intellects are predominantly tamasic. And these three gunas are operating and organizing societies worldwide since time began. It's all consciousness, what? Setting up and organizing the whole field of existence according to the gunas. And this is how it plays out in the social organization of human beings. When the caste system became hereditary, then problems happened. Because you could get what? You could get the son of a Brahmin who was predominantly tamasic, but he's meant to be entrusted with the vision of what? With the spirituality of the society, and then what happens? The whole spiritual tradition gets corrupted, which is what happens. So this is a society, this basic system is based upon merit and the what? The nature of the individuals in the nature of the individuals in the society. In other words, the predominance of a particular guna. And those gunas are not anything you have control over until you understand karma yoga, triguna vibhava yoga, and understand what the gunas are. Then you can manipulate them and transform yourself into a spiritual person, into a Brahmin, if you're not a Brahmin already. If you're not a sannyasi. Sannyasis are predominantly sattvic. You can develop that through the yogas. Yogas will help you to manipulate and control the gunas, and we're going to talk about that as we go along. Because this three guna model is throughout the Gita. It's a very, very powerful, it's the most powerful yoga you've got, assuming that karma yoga is in operation. And this is an amazing way not only to transcend the gunas, but to manipulate your life in the world to create a really beautiful life for yourself, if you can understand this model. And we'll get to it. Slowly we'll develop it as we go. So you'll really have some serious power here to transform your life if you understand this. And he's just giving you a little taste. Throughout you'll see he mentions the three qualities, the three gunas, and so forth and so on. Even though I am its author, know me as the changeless non-doer. Know me as awareness. The three gunas are known by what? Awareness. So in other words, you're beyond your gunas. You're beyond those what? Three energies or those three powers that are operating in you all the time. Actions do not affect me, nor do I long for the results. You can think along with Ishvara here, okay? You can take accept your status as an avatar and think along with this. This is true for you. This is actually true for you. Don't think about it somebody else. This is actually true for you. Just need to see how that is. Inquiry just means owning this through what? Continuing contemplation on these words. This is true. You are what? You are the author of everything. Means what? Without you, your mind doesn't mean anything. Does it? Your mind depends totally on you. Your ego depends totally on you. You're always free of your mind. So what? You're in charge of your mind. That's what he's saying here. And you don't, even though you don't long for results, that means you can get results. If you don't long for results, you can what? Operate here to get results. There's no reason why you shouldn't have results. Think about it. If you know me clearly, you will not be bound by your actions. You can do actions, but the actions won't bind you. Look at what an amazing, creative, and beautiful life you can make if you're not bound to act. if you're acting freely from this position. This is what Krishna does. He comes in there, and even though Krishna says he's not going to fight, he cheats. He cheats, yeah. He does. That's how fate is. There he's operating, as we said earlier, as what? The power of Deva, the power of consciousness, as it's influencing the field in subtle ways. He doesn't actually take up a weapon and fight. But there's one situation that shows how the self operates here in Maya, and what a tricky, subtle way it's operating here. And we want that power of what? The self operating, working on our side. That's why Arjuna chose Krishna. Because he knew, he felt that spiritual factor, that divine factor was available, and he wanted it on his side. He wasn't quite sure how it worked, but he knew it worked. And he had that faith in that power, right? And so anyway, they're on the battlefield, and Karna's a guy that can kill Arjuna. Karna's got the same level of skill that Arjuna has. And Karna's paying attention to Arjuna. And Arjuna's well protected by his mantras and everything. But at one point he's involved in a battle with somebody else, and his attention, his panoramic awareness is lost, and Karna realizes this is the time he can kill Arjuna. So he sends an arrow at him. And Krishna sees the arrow coming. And he said he won't fight, but he's got the job as the charioteer. So he calculates the trajectory of the arrow, and he drives the chariot down into a little dip. So the arrow just misses, Arjuna's head bobs down, and the arrow hits Arjuna's crown and knocks off his helmet, but saves his life. So he can continue. So this divine factor is working here for you in every situation. Is what he's saying here. Huh? Know me to be working for you, looking after you. Invoke me. Huh? He's saying. Beautiful.